Welcome to the Pillow Fight Podcast. I'm Alyssa.
I'm Kay.
I'm Emma, and we're your three besties bringing you news, reviews, and all things horror. As we enter our new series of films to watch, we're doing something kind of fun. We're calling it a summer of slashers. And we're not doing your typical slasher movies. We're choosing things that have like subverted expectations or take a new approach to the genre, kind of out of the box slashers, I keep calling it. And so I'm really excited for that. Slashers aren't necessarily my favorite genre, but I do like movies that try something new. Mm-hmm. So I think it's gonna be a fun month.
What are the slashers of our present?
The slashers of our present seem to be pretty promising. Yeah.
The first one in our series, because it just came out, In a Violent Nature.
A Shudder release.
Nature. These are the hooks. This is the dance.
So this is a dance he was doing.
That's what he does when he walks. Instead of the footsteps, it's this.
Dun, dun.
I wish that
Can you imagine an hour and a half of...
Yes. I don't know.
That would be amazing.
I'd watch it.
Actually. So as always, we will just talk about brief thoughts and then we will get into spoilers. But now, general thoughts.
I remember that we saw this trailer when we went to see Late Night with the Devil, another Shudder release. And I mean, one thing we talked about, it's really cool to see the Shudder logo, the dun-dun, pop up on a movie theater screen. I love, as people who have been, with Shudder for a long time since the get, pretty happy to see it on a big screen because I think Shudder's always had really good choices with the movies that they've made. Really fun choices. And they've been a big supporter of the indie genre and the foreign horror film genre for a really long time and making those movies. I think Shudder is personally, to me, one of the reasons that indie horror, but foreign horror, is more accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll go on record, thank Sam Zimmerman for this. And also Sam was one of the main producers in this movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which did not have 47 production companies tagged onto this.
No.
Much shorter. But I will say this did seem like a smaller production.
Yeah.
It's a Canadian film. Well, filmed in Canada anyway. So I think that as far as doing like the summer slasher movie that we have come to expect for many years, like summers and slashers, camp films, like all that, like it's your summer release movie is your slasher for the year.
Yeah.
So I think that if this is going to be what this one is, I'm pretty happy with it. Like I'm pretty okay with does he have like a fun name?
Johnny.
But that's not a fun name.
It can be.
No. Sorry to all the Johnnies out there. I'm not saying your name isn't fun. I'm just saying like it's not Ghostface. It's not Freddy or Jason.
I think he needs like two more installments. Maybe one more to get a nickname.
Like what's the press call him?
The media, the pictures call him. I don't know.
Yeah. Minor
Fireface.
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 Because he was
Fireface Hatchet Man.
Fireface Hatchet Hook Man.
No, I actually really liked it. It's one of those movies where I feel like the experience watching it was really cool. I don't know if I would go back and like just put it on TV necessarily, unless
I would for ASMR.
Unless somebody wanted to watch it, I would rewatch it with them. But I think I just enjoyed just the active experience of being present, and I was so thankful that I've been trying to see movies at like 10 a.m. because get off my lawn. That's me, and I just don't like the theater going experience anymore. It doesn't make me happy, so I try to go when no one's going to be there. And there were a few people there. I actually tried to find a screening, and they were almost all half full, like even in the mornings on Mondays and stuff. So that made me really happy. It was a good audience. They were quiet, except obviously a kill. We'll get into it, but there was a kill that you just hear one person so uncomfortable, and they're just like, like they didn't know how to react.
No, I'd agree with that because I think seeing it with an audience, sometimes seeing with an audience makes a film more enjoyable. Sometimes it makes it less, but this one, it made it more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I really liked seeing what kills they reacted to.
Right. One thing I will say that I really appreciate, and I heard somebody compare it this way, and I thought it was really cool, even though I've never seen this movie, but I can understand the comparison. It was this year's Skinamarink, and I've heard that that's a very polarizing film kind of you either love it or you hate it. You either get it or you don't. And I heard that's kind of similar to this one.
You know, I left this movie being like, eh. And like, now that I've had a few days to think about it, it is growing on me a little. My issue with it, I think, isn't the movie itself, but it's kind of the marketing of being told we're going to get a killer POV slasher when it's not necessarily that. I think it goes through both, the perspective of the killer and the perspective of the victims. You know, I think the thing that I take away from it the most and I find most interesting is the sort of voyeurism and kind of making us look at, like, you know, when I watch a slasher movie, I'm just like, okay, who's going to get it next? Yeah, fodder for the killer. And now we're just sort of like, it's kind of messed up when you watch like humans scurrying around like that. And it makes you think about why you love horror movies a little bit.
Well, I think, like, as far as the killer POV part of it, normally in a horror movie, we're following the final girl and her friends. Even if we don't know who the final girl is, we're following their story. We're following what they're doing and why this is happening to them and what's going on that leads them to this. And it's all about the final girl. But for this movie, it wasn't about the final girl, because at first I actually picked the wrong final girl.
You barely
I will
got
say.
to know.
Yeah, I did not make the right choice for who I thought was going to be the final girl. But you're following him. He's the lead. Yeah. And I don't think in a lot of movies, maybe in a lot of movies, the killer's the lead because we've grown to love them, like Freddy or Jason. But I think that from the get-go, Johnny is the lead. The killer is the star.
And that's what I really appreciate about this movie, because it really, however you look at it, it really is an innovative way, and why we're doing the month too, because you don't really see that point of view. And I think a lot of times, a lot of us wonder who whether you love slashers or not, you always wonder, what goes on when the slasher is just like on his way? Like, does he go to the bathroom? Like, how does he eat? What does he do on his downtime? And I feel like a lot of people might think that's fucking boring. But I feel like, yeah, he's walking, he's boring. I get it. I totally get how people think that's boring. I thought that was awesome because he stops at nothing. Mission, he has a mission, he's going on it. And I love seeing, I thought it was like the other side of the waterfall. Like, I love seeing that other point of view.
I think I was a little disappointed because I wanted it to be more clever than it was.
I get it.
And that's fine, I think. But the more I think about it, the more things that I do find interesting about it. And
well, I think one thing that kind of pushed it over the edge was the marketing. They market it as people are throwing up in this theater. They're vomiting and passing out.
As per usual.
But like, and how many times have we heard that? I mean, of course we heard it. We heard it with The Exorcist when it like legit happened. And now everyone's kind of been like chasing that high. But now to the point where people are like, they threw up in the preview. I'm like, okay, I don't believe that.
I don't think
maybe they were hungover.
Yeah, I think, but sometimes it felt a little like a video game to me.
Yeah, I think that, and they said that that wasn't the intention too, because they're not gamers. I think
Chris Nash,
sorry. I think I read something after I saw it that he said he's not a gamer, so that wasn't even the intent to begin with. So it's really interesting.
I don't know. I didn't get video game vibes from this.
Really?
No, and I play a lot of them, and like I love playing as the killer. Like when you play Friday the 13th, the game, you are playing as Jason, and like I can kind of see it from like looking right now from the angles when you're playing Jason, because it's not like it's not like Phasmophobia where you're just seeing your hands. You are seeing the character. So like I kind of see that.
Yeah.
But I would have never assumed that was the director's choice. I think that's just like something that happens because like, you know, sometimes you're the final girl and sometimes you're Jason.
Yeah. I appreciate any new take on the genre, because I feel like everyone expects, you know, there's a certain formula to the slasher or whatever. And I love that this is kind of like the underside of that. And it's like, what would the POV be in this instance? And I like that. I respect the take on it. And I like Johnny. I really like him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to disparage. Like, I do think people should go see this movie.
Yeah.
I just, it wasn't 100% what I expected it to be.
Right.
But as I said, it is growing on me a little bit. And I think I read somewhere that the director's like, you know, his vibe was more like, you know, Gus Van Sant work and like some really serious stuff. And to me, it almost felt like Yule Log and
That's interesting.
Too Many Cooks.
Yeah.
Like there's like some like kind of like funky choices there that I actually really liked.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up, maybe spoilers, but it's not because I'm not getting into anything. But I actually thought this was supposed to be based on the marketing, like you said, a little. I wouldn't say misleading, but I thought it was going to be this very serious, like no BS messing around. There's a humor to it, right? So
There's
the humor I saw wasn't me just being a silly person laughing at it. Like it's actually humorous.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because I was laughing a lot. There was like, I'll get into it later, but yeah, there was a tone to this that I did not expect.
No, and afterwards, I definitely was reminded of Adult Swim Yule Log, which is Casper Kelly's.
Casper Kelly.
Okay.
that's
Casper
it.
Kelly,
Yeah.
which like opening of it. Okay, so a lot of scenes in this reminded me of the opening of Adult Swim Yule Log, where you're literally just watching the fire and
Yeah.
stuff is happening. And then it goes like Adult Swim Yule Log is like comedy. It's Adult Swim. It goes like completely off the rails, but in like 3 different directions and nutter butters.
I also think though that Yule Log is incredibly inventive and like very clever. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, clever.
I haven't
Yes.
seen it.
And
Oh, it's fun. And I think but I thought that in the ambiance focused part of the movie. And then it goes a little crazy. I mean, yeah, I wasn't expecting In a Violent Nature to be as comedic as it was, but
Yeah.
they specifically made choices that there's no way you could not see them as
Right.
humorous.
yeah.
Even in the kills, because some of the kills were very off the wall, very Terrifier.
Yeah. Very tongue in cheek.
And it's Chris Nash is an effects artist, as is Damien Leone.
Mhm.
And Chris Nash does a lot of those Canadian movies. Like he worked on Psycho Gorman and The Void, and so he's got that group of his creative bubble is a little, wonky, silly, fun.
It's
So-
over the top horror. It's I mean, I won't say, I mean, maybe it is a little bit, it's out of the box. It's
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Psycho Gorman was one of my favorite movies the year it came out.
And I love The Void. I love The Void. The Void is a fun,
The Void's cool.
crazy ass
Yeah.
movie. So I am a fan of his work. And I did see I did see that this is an effects artist having fun. And not knowing, I try not to go into the movie knowing anything about it because I don't want it to like alter my views.
Yeah.
But I was like, so they had some kills and they wanted to do these kills.
Yeah.
And then they built a movie. So like, it's chicken or the egg. Which came first, the kills or the script? But I don't know. I think maybe the kills came first. I think the violence maybe came first.
And I read somewhere that they reshot almost the entire movie.
That's great.
Like they didn't like the location that they used the first
Wow.
time, so they went and did it again, and they recast Johnny.
Wow.
Yeah.
There were like three Johnnies. There was one lead Johnny, but I think if I remember from the script, there was multiple.
Was there a Johnny 5?
Oh my god.
Sorry. I mean, there is one lead Johnny. When I look on IMDb, that's the first name that's listed.
Yeah. He's incredible.
Is Rye Barrett.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
love
lead,
him.
which I love, give these guys, give these slashers what they are due.
When a group of teens takes a locket from a collapsed fire tower in the woods, they unwittingly resurrect the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on by a horrific 60-year-old crime. The undead killer soon embarks on a bloody rampage to retrieve the stolen locket, methodically slaughtering anyone who gets in his way. We are back with Spoiler Town, so if you haven't seen the movie, watch it the minute it's on Shudder and come back.
Dun,
You
dun.
can always listen if you want, but we highly suggest you pause that baby and come back because there's some good stuff.
So yeah, you can't have a slasher movie without waking up your slasher.
I love how Johnny wakes up because there's the Aaron and the other dude. One of them, Troy Cult. Do you remember? Who it was?
Was there not
There was the douchey guy. I don't want to
Douchey
go by
guy
their
too.
names, but can I go by like the douchiest King Douche?
They do have a bit of their stereotypes. I mean, the thing about the characters is they don't get too much into it, and I don't think that was the point.
No,
I
because
think
they're not the
Right.
point.
They
They're
were
not
supposed
the
to be-
focal of this.
They were supposed to be like the stereotype, I think, of like
Right.
kind of
No, they're in the antagonists.
right.
Yeah.
Like, you
She
don't
don't-
steal a man's mama's jewelry.
Exactly.
No,
tell you.
you don't steal. You don't rob a gravesite.
Mm-mm.
Even if you don't know it's a gravesite, just like assume everything
Yeah.
is a gravesite. Don't steal it if it's not yours.
It's just this like frame, a wood frame, so you just hear the conversation off, and I think they're talking about taking it, right? Like I don't remember the conversation, but it's like,
Yeah.
dude, there's a letter, like blah blah blah. They're just having a casual conversation. Camera slowly pans, and you see the necklace they're talking about, and one of them just grabs it, and then after that, it's just this kind of like slow little wake up of Johnny. There's no music, by the way, and there's no soundtrack.
In the entire movie.
The only soundtrack is ambient bird noises, which was beautiful, and gut squishy. And that was beautiful too.
Yeah, I love that choice. That was fun.
I think that was a great choice.
The aesthetic and ambiance of this movie were my favorite parts of it.
I never thought that I would want, because I fall asleep to meditations and to like nice noises and rain. I never thought I would want the soundtrack to this film to put me to sleep one day, and I think it will.
Well, like, so this reminded me of the movies. Like, I put on YouTube videos for my dog when I leave, so he
Yeah.
can have something to watch. And it's
Yes.
8 hours of like squirrels and birds.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is what I need to be put on when I'm at home to entertain me while my dog is out. But like, I would literally want there to be a lo-fi channel of just Johnny walking through various forests, intercut with like serene wood
Yeah.
scenes, which they did. And they like, it reminded me of a nature documentary, but there's a slasher in there. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed that. I
Yeah.
would just watch him walking. I don't care where he's
No,
going.
I
I'm
do like
along.
it. And that's the thing that was really polarizing for people was, oh, it's just a bunch of walking. It's an hour and a half of walking. Totally get that. Totally get how that's not anybody's cup of tea. I liked it because ADD, I space out a lot. So it was really nice to watch a movie where like there's a few minutes of time where you're just like, just clunk, clunk in the woods, hearing branches break and birds. Cause then I'm like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden guts start squishing. And I'm like, okay, now I wake up. But no, I liked that aspect. I thought it was cool, but it's also hard for a rewatch, I think, too, because of that.
I don't
But-
know. I put on a lot of horror movies because as my background, that's what I do from home. If I'm cleaning, if I'm editing, if I'm like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I most likely have a horror movie on in the background. And this will be an easy one for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not calling it a rewatch, but I will say this is going to be really good. What other people use for lo-fi
Yeah.
for studying, this would be my like studying movie.
Yeah, it's definitely like an atmosphere movie. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
can imagine having a slasher themed party and just keeping it on all night.
Yeah,
Like with
yeah.
the music loud. So, you know,
Right.
it's just there. It's just the.
It is kind of
visual.
a background visual. No,
Yeah.
and you could put music too. But I just love how that wakes up Johnny. It's such a simple premise, which slasher films usually are. But I love how they really wrapped it. Like, just the whole story in general. It was so simple. Take the necklace, that wakes him up. He wakes up through like a pipe. It's like, I almost thought it was 3D for a second because the pipe just like slowly comes up.
Yeah.
Your POV. And I didn't get it. I didn't get how exactly that worked, but I liked it.
I was like, is he breathing through this pipe?
Yeah, it's like, is that how he's is it like his breathing mechanism? But yeah, he wakes up and then he starts walking, man. He starts walking. The walking journey starts.
Oh, and he doesn't even walk that far. I think he goes to like the closest neighboring house.
I think that was his house. I think that was his childhood house because, yeah, because the photo, like,
oh, yeah, because
yeah.
it was close to it.
So, like, naturally, like, I think that's just where, yeah.
No. What happened is he came across a dead animal
Yeah.
on the ground that was in a trap, and he looked, and this I don't know what animal it was, but it looked canine.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been stuck in a bear trap and left to starve to death. Instead of being killed, it was left to starve. And they made that very clear through their prosthetics and through the creature that it was left to suffer on that trap. And with a trail cam watching it suffer. And then they had a pink tie around the tree right above the trail cam.
Yeah.
And then he looks up
Mm-hmm.
and he sees all the other pink ties, and the pink
follows.
ties led him back to that, bleep it, fucker's house. And I love a movie where I'm like, get him.
Yeah.
Get him.
Yes.
And get that guy. Because if you're the type of person that's gonna watch and like that's your joy, that's your Marie Kondo, like, this brings me joy, is watching an animal suffer on a trail cam. I want to see Johnny come for you.
Well, and they do a good job of establishing that as being a shitty dude anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
You know.
the rangers there, like, you can't have your traps out. You got to stop doing that. And like,
This is protected land. This is a forest. And he's like, come make me
And he's
stop.
yeah, and the ranger seems extra protective at the time. We don't know why he's still like, one of these days, you know, you're gonna be the one out there, but you know, he knows his stuff for a reason. And I love that POV where, you know, Johnny's walking around surveying, then he walks in while the other guy is outside. And I love when he just stands there and you hear the radio. I was trying to hear the radio to see if it like said anything about, you know, you can learn stuff about things like that. But no, he was just standing there, you know, and I always think when you see the character in the slasher kind of walking around, but you know, the slasher's around, it's like, oh, where is he? And I love them, just picturing them standing there, just going for like 10 minutes, just spacing out, just staring straight ahead. But that's when he looks at the photo, right? That's why I thought it was his childhood home, because
He looked in a mirror and it was like, he looked
picked
at
up
the photo
right.
and the mirror behind it, and then the image of like his father.
saying
Yeah.
like,
Came
Johnny,
into the
here's
mirror.
your necklace to remember your mom.
Yeah.
That's kind of how he delivered it.
that was like one of those like adult swimmy moments for
That was super adult
It
swimming.
was so, he's like, here, Johnny, take this necklace. Remember your mom. This is Chekhov's necklace.
But then like he sees a necklace and he looks at it. It says something like
What
number one
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker.
Another one motherfucker.
Because he thinks it's his mom's, but then he
Yeah.
sees it. It's like number one motherfucker.
Who has a necklace that says
Well, he has a hat too.
Yeah,
He's got
he
the
needs
whole.
one.
That's like
he's
his
bought the whole
brand.
shop. He's like, I am the number one motherfucker, and I want everybody to know it.
I feel like you need that hat and that necklace.
I think you would wear that hat.
me?
Yeah,
Oh God.
I see you. I can see you wearing that to set. You walk
I
in
can
day
see-
one as a director, whip that hat on, and be like, "All right, let's
one
go."
motherfucker.
Yes.
But yeah, I love that. I like that kill. But also, they didn't give it to us. They off-screened
They
it.
Oh,
restrained.
they're saving. They were saving it.
And then they went back and they kind of gave him in the background with just like body parts.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, good. At least he suffered.
You saw that there was at least a severed limb here.
It would
Yeah.
have been cool if he just left him to rot like he did the dog.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
On the thing. Yeah.
No, but then he probably would have been saved. So I think he did need to. He need to be gotten.
Be
He needed
gotten.
to. The getting need to be gotten.
Yeah.
Those
But
are Johnny's woods. I wouldn't mess with nothing in Johnny's woods.
I did like the angle of the hand going in to get him, and then the next time you see is the hand going to get the necklace, but it's covered in blood.
Yeah.
So you're like,
Cute.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, some crazy shit
Two and
happened.
two
Yeah.
together.
So I mean, they can't have they did throughout the movie. He does make choices about what kills to show and what kills
Yeah.
not to show. There, it's not like we get every single one, which I think is a good choice. Like, yes, it's in a violent nature, so you assume you're going to get a ton of kills. But if you get too many, then it starts to go into like a human centipede, like hostile territory, which I didn't want with this film.
No.
So I did appreciate that, like, there is gore, but we didn't get to see it for gore's sake. We got to see the kills that they wanted us to see.
Yeah.
Yep. And they were violent.
They were of a violent nature.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm gonna love talking about these bullet points because it's gonna be like something happens and then the next bullet point is Johnny's walking.
Then Johnny walks
Johnny
some
walks
more.
next place. He's walking to his next destination where he, you know, hears a car and hears douchebags just screaming and
Yeah.
My note was, dude is on the move.
yep, dude is on the Johnny on the move. Dude.
He's like, all right, killed that guy. Who's next?
I am looking for the one thing I want to do with this is play a different soundtrack. I want to rewatch it. Just scenes of him walking to different soundtracks. Like do like Curb
Staying
Your
Alive?
Enthusiasm.
Ah!
Yes, Stay Alive. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Do like Benny Hill. Do,
Let's see, like it matches up. Like
no, because it'd
like
be
in the
funny.
wall or-
Just different tones. Do like a new metal soundtrack. Do like I don't
Bodies
know.
on the floor.
Bodies on the floor, and just do like I will survive. I don't know. Just do the most random stuff.
Well, I
But-
think if you find the right beats per minute, you can get a
Yeah.
soundtrack that matches him, like Uptown Girl matches everything.
Yes,
type of thing.
exactly. Like, and the vibe is different by each song, or just do.
I feel like maybe Johnny would be less mad if he listened to some Billy Joel.
I think so. Not the shit on the freaking headphones that he could have taken from someone, but yeah, whatever they were listening to. Yeah, he needs to listen to some Billy Joel.
Cure all his problems. Too bad. He only plays in New York.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, Johnny.
Johnny listens to Guns N' Roses. He's a Guns N' Roses dude. He's not, but he's not.
So yeah, then the next thing he sees is some people that are acting like dicks, and they're shooting up in the fort. Not shooting up. They're shooting up stuff, like not in the. All right, the phrasing was wrong.
Hunter kinds of shooting, not.
No, they're just shooting guns for fun, or like poppers, or they're doing something weird, like
Being
fireworks.
loud.
Yeah, they're being obnoxious, and he's like, okay, goes. I'm gonna go kill these teens.
like, did you take my necklace?
But I mean,
They did. They did.
But yeah, they go up on this group of teenagers, college, big group of youngins.
Young enough. Youngins enough. Youngins.
Youngins
Like
enough.
it's slasher rules of young.
Yes.
Exactly.
So it's like they're like 30, but they're playing like 20.
Exactly. And now my biggest question, because in this scene where they're establishing, I put that in quotes because I think it's intentional. I really don't know if it's intentional or not. But that pan, by the way, the circling, I that made me dizzy. But
I was trying to find Johnny the entire time.
me too. Because the way that they establish them is they're circling, just constant pan of the camera, and then they tell the legend of Johnny, you know. And you see him when they take the picture, because they take a group picture when they go inside, and then Johnny's in the background. But yeah, they each are kind of a dick, and then you get the establishing, like the girl says something to her boyfriend, he's kind of a dick to her, and then the other guy who you think's gonna be like, he's like the final guy, who says they have a look, so you know that they're like the good ones, kind of.
You have the stone. Okay, so you have the classics. So we have the guy that sucks,
The guy that sucks.
the shitty boyfriend.
The bro jock type.
Yeah, we have the stoner best friend.
Yes.
Who brings up that he like, I think I smoked a bug in this. Like, he's obviously very much panning to the fact that he is the stoner friend. The punk girl,
Yes.
which wasn't really like, I think Friday the Third or Nightmare on Elm Street is what really brought like her into being one of, or no, like the rebel girl.
Yeah, she
The
seemed
manic
out of
pixie
like,
dream girl.
Yeah, they just did not seem like the yoga girl felt very out of place, or one of them felt very out of place. But those two, like the combined, did not like. They just did not look like the same.
I
person.
actually thought Yoga Girl was going to be the final girl. She's the ethereal, she's the blonde-ish character. So, and then you have like the tortured soul, and
Right.
he was going through it. That's what they said.
And that's so. Was it intentional for the dialogue to be bad, or the acting to not be great?
I kind of feel like they were trying to go for that 80s slasher.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And because they're not the important part. So
Right.
I thought that they were like intentionally generic.
And that's the thing, because and that's not a diss on the writers or whatever, because I genuinely thought, okay, are they just supposed to be non-important? Just like, it's not, you
I
shouldn't
just
care.
feel like it was the
okay.
choice that they made.
I like that then. I like that.
I think it went a little far in the lake scene where I was like, this doesn't even feel like
Yes,
a
it
scene.
didn't.
This feels like a softcore
It was
porn.
a little forced.
It was super forced.
They take a photo, a nice group photo, and then you see Johnny in the background, which, what was the word? He said it was, they have really bad, in like spatial awareness, I guess, not common sense, spatial sense, just this in the lake scene, like he's clearly there. You can kind of see him, but it's
Yeah, but have you ever been to like a haunted house and then all of a sudden you turn around and there's a scare actor like right here and you didn't feel them?
that was me. No, it's true. That's a scary ass feeling.
But yeah, I think that people can creep up on you.
It's true. Yeah. So they go.
Well, then they go back to the house, and
So you get a lot of the characters talking. Johnny's walking around. You get the final girl having an argument with her boyfriend. So that sets that kind of little vignette up. Stoner guy, goes to take a shit / gas her up. Wait, what was it?
Fill her
Fill
up.
fill her up.
Gas her up would be a whole different thing.
People are the worst.
So
I just wish they had more jokes though, because they just kept going with the filler up like 80 billion times. So I was like, okay, there could have been, there's so many more jokes with this gas station girls. Let's hear them. I thought there was gonna be more, but they really stuck with that. So like if it was a choice with the script for making them be kind of like one note, that kind of hammered that in for me of like, but it didn't make me, I mean, I guess we're not really supposed to see them as people. We're not supposed to, because they're not important.
Yeah, they're all cringe.
They're all the
They all
worst.
suck.
I wasn't excited. I was like, I don't know, kill them
So
all.
yeah, you're with your POV dude. You're on his side, and I like that.
So then we get our first big kill.
Yes.
So he goes behind the tree and which is always fun, a nice head kill.
But yeah, it's
Especially
like he's got like his headphones on and all this shit, and all of a sudden, boom, this machete right through his mouth.
I hope he's high. Of all the kills in this, that's probably how I'd want to go, because you're not seeing it. You're just chilling, and all of a sudden, like, it's like, what the fuck? Done.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I would want to go.
So as far as a kill standpoint, I didn't like it when it was happening, but I loved so that he goes, he gets decapitated. I loved this half of the body. I thought everything from here down with like the tongue and the dissection, I thought that looked great. I didn't love the top part of the head.
Yeah.
Because I thought the eyes looked a little like flat.
They were static.
Yeah. But I love the bottom half. I love the weight that the corpse had when he was dragging him. I didn't know what, I was like, what's he gripping on? What his gun?
No,
what
wasn't
was
his nut
in there? Well, because he was like, it was from the back, which would just be like the cratered part of the skull. So like, what was he gripping? Because there's like no, I don't know. I was just kind of like, when he's dragging him, I'm literally staring at the screen like, what you got there? How'd you
The world will never know.
Yeah, me and my beautiful corpses. I was like, what's going on with that corpse over there?
You and corpses, man.
Me and my corpses.
You and your corpses. I love, that was the first hint I got of, maybe this movie does have a bit of humor, because he's still listening to the music. And I loved how as the time goes on, as he's walking, the music dies down, like more and more like messed up. And he goes to the ranger station. And we laughed so hard. He just throws body parts. And then he walks in and he sees that the mask that was put on him was framed, and so was the axe and the weapon stuff. And I love that. I love that origin of how he tries to get the mask. I thought that was the funniest part in the whole thing. Was all of a sudden you just see, like, it's just a shot of the hallway, and all of a sudden you just see him throw the body in to get the mask.
Because he didn't need to. It was just glass. He probably could have just punched through, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna throw the fuck the body.
It's a rock at this point to him.
And
I mean, it does go to the show that they don't matter, and neither do their dead bodies.
No.
The main note that this is how messed up I am. The one note that I thought of through the whole thing was, it bleeds into a following scene where he's playing with the car thing, but he put on a mask and he pops up, and I thought, he looks so adorable. I thought, is it just me?
Yes.
I thought he looked so cute in that mask. It's like his big mask. And I love Johnny.
Okay.
I think he's adorable. Am I?
You're gonna get a little Johnny plushie.
I would.
She would.
I think he's adorable in the same way I think Pumpkinhead is absolutely adorable. Like, I want to pet Pumpkinhead.
No.
Pumpkinhead's scary, but
Pumpkinhead is like the spirit of vengeance.
No, not the principle of Pumpkinhead, but the way it looks. Just like, it's so cute. I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm a weirdo. I'm not embarrassed. I have the courage to admit that I think Johnny is adorable. And I think Pumpkinhead is adorable.
Little cuties.
Little cuties.
Little cuties.
Little cuties. I want to pet their little boop. I want to boop their little noses.
I'm sure they want to boop yours right back.
Yeah.
Into your skull.
Into my skull. Through my chest. Anyway.
Because the next kill.
Speaking of heads through chests.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so then we get to the lake, and he's, which reminded me of the Friday the 13th, 2000-something remake. He's on the other side of the lake watching them, which is also, that's very stereotypical summer slasher and or summer camp slasher. And then he's just like, just gonna keep my walk going into the, like, it's almost zombie-esque how he just like gonna walk and nothing's gonna stop me, including this body of water.
He's like Oregon Trails that shit.
Yeah, walk the wagon and float it. And he's like, nope, we're gonna ford the river.
I thought that was so hilarious because I took that as in like, okay, so Jason suddenly shows up like out of water sometimes, or pops out, and he just like casually walks in. I'm like, he knows he's dead. He knows he's not gonna die from that. He just walks.
Actually, it also reminded me of one of the Living Dead's Land of the Dead, which is the one where the zombies start to like have characteristics of their life, and the lead zombie, who is like the gas station attendant zombie, is like telling the other zombies like, get in the water, and they're like, no. They're like,
I can't.
No, we can't swim. And then he's like, oh, and just hops in and starts walking. And all the other ones are like,
Do you know how much I wish that was the scene? Get in the water. I can't.
that's what he did. He was just like, oh, I'm so frustrated with these idiots who aren't as advanced as me as zombies. Like, I love that guy. The guy's the best zombie.
Oh my God.
But yeah, then that kind of reminded me of that of like, bloom, and then just goes and the bubbles stop because he's still going. The bubbles were only like the air that was trapped in his clothes, not him breathing.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, I'm gonna keep going. And these girls are having the most like, you missed your chance, but come F me. Fuck me later.
It was so
out of
dumb.
place.
It was
so out of
awful. I was like, is
I
this
saw that
flirting?
back there. I saw that. I felt that back there. Didn't you feel that back there? I'm like, that was somebody said that to me. I'd be like, go swim.
Like, it was so weird. Yeah, they run out to the dock and she's just like, takes off her clothes because she's flirting. She's like, jump in. And the other girl's like, no, dude. Like,
I want to do
Is
yoga.
this you flirting? Yes. Well, you missed your chance. You should have done it now. I just did it. Too late. Come do it later and then I'll sleep with you.
I'm
okay.
No. There's like a worse line, like about something about yoga. And then she's like, yeah, then you can come stretch me out again.
Yes. I mean, if either of those girls use those line at me at a bar, I don't think that it would work. I mean, I need to try again. I'm going to give you a take two.
Maybe
but
it would work for me because I'm weird and I think it was funny.
I did like that her kill was just.
Oh, I know. Oh, that would be a sucky way to die because you don't know what's going on under there. But even if nothing happened,
You're
drowning
just holding
fucking
her
sucks.
under.
Drowning sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, no, he must have broken her neck or something because it was way too fast.
Yeah.
And there was not enough flailing.
Right.
And then she came up in a weird, like, which I love. I love a good down floating body. I love a good.
Were you guys like thinking like, oh, it's Johnny Shark?
Johnny Shark. There wasn't any blood.
And I know, but it was just like so Jaws where she's like in the water. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair.
I can see that.
Either way, I was like, okay, fun, good kill. Good job,
Fine.
bro. Good job. And then he was
Good
like,
job,
he did it
Johnny.
so fast because the amount of time that it went from her going to him being boop, boop, like it was a very quick
Oh my
like.
gosh, why
she's
weren't
dead?
you
I
on
go.
the Foley?
I
Why
should
couldn't
have.
you do the Foley?
That would have been on. Oh, good job for the Foley artist. I bet they had a blast.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. All the stabs. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh.
I feel like they did a lot of on-set recording, like
Yeah.
a separate boom just for dudes' feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, then instantly just bloop, bloop, bloop,
at the
bloop,
top
bloop,
of the mountain.
yeah, and then instantly finds her where she picked a good serene spot, I
Right
guess.
At the edge of a mountain.
But my biggest problem with her is she's like, oh, you came already to come get me. Sun salutation.
Yeah, I knew you'd come.
And then
Even though
she
he's
sees
like clearly a heavy clunking behind her. She's like, that's what you sound like when you walk. Clearly, you tiny lady.
and then she sees him. She runs to the cliff edge and she looks down and then she's like,
Oh my god.
well,
She gave up so easy.
which like is that? I don't know, but like at first I was like, are you shitting me? You're not gonna
Yeah.
fight. You're not gonna run. You're not
stood
gonna
there. She's like-
take the dive because I would have been like that dude with a messed up like. Anyone coming at me wearing a mask
With
is
hooks?
not a good idea
With
with
hooks,
rusty weapons.
I at least try to like get around.
Like tuck and
at
roll,
least.
maybe?
She was going straight. There was options, and I would have gone. I would have gone
Listen,
down. I would have
she
taken the
could've done
chance.
cartwheels.
She could have done literally anything, and she just went for it. Hup.
Maybe her fight or flight response was just like to freeze. Because I get like that when I get really nervous. Maybe she literally couldn't move and she's like, well, this is it.
No, the look in her eyes was just wait for
Defeat.
death, and then she was just like, "Guess it's my time." She just gave no fucks.
And then she just slowly turns around, like when he impales her through this chest or whatever, and she's like, okay. That's it, right?
Yeah, there's no reaction. There's nothing.
But that wasn't it.
No, he went.
Boy, was this the kill.
That
Yeah.
I was very glad I got to see that in a movie theater
Yeah.
because people were like my movie theater erupted.
Yeah,
they
same.
had fun.
Although to me, this was not my favorite kill of the movie. But
I think this is my most intense. I think this is the most intense kill.
I laughed a lot.
It was the one that it's prolonged so long that you have to laugh because it's like, really? What next? What next?
And it's like, it's funny because he kind of made her a little pretzel, like a little yoga.
Yoga pretzel.
The sound effects were so good in that. Though.
The neck pop. That was good. Ooh. That looked great.
It looked really good.
That's not an effect I ever thought I wanted to do, but I was like,
well done on that design because that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a new one, and I like it was subtle too. Yeah. Versus everything has been like, a lot of the kills were really gory, but that neck pop, that was my favorite effect. To be honest.
Yeah. What was it? This. And then he just pulls the chain. He pulls her into. Ryan was trying to be logistic, and he's like, "That didn't work." I don't know what that was. Ryan.
No, it did because
it's like anatomy. How do you heads can't pull that way?
Actually, I was thinking that too. I was like, "Is that how the chain would go through again?" But like, I was very fascinated by it. Like, you're looking at it, you're like with analytical eyes of just like,
right. Either way, I mean, whatever. It looked cool.
It looked cool.
Awesome.
I didn't question it. I was like, I'm just here for this woman getting her head thrown through her stomach. Like,
and then he's like, "Thank you."
I also thought, like, I love horror fans because I just loved the beauty of just the sound of the nature, the wind, the birds, while this like disgusting gory kill is happening. And I just like, I'm watching and I'm just smiling, eating popcorn.
Yeah.
And then like you hear the weird, uncomfortable man who clearly has never seen anything like that. Some girl in the front row is going like this. And then I hear two dudes in the background going, fuck. Like just the spectrum of emotions and like how, it's just a commonplace. It's just an everyday occurrence watching this happen. I love horror fans.
I started laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God, I'm watching a movie alone in a theater and I'm the one sitting there going like,
nice. Yep.
But my second favorite part of the whole thing was where he pushed her off and she like didn't go all the way down. She just like slid.
I laughed so hard because you thought it would be this violent, like she's just gonna fly off, and then it's like.
Because they don't matter. They don't matter in the film. They don't matter as people. Yep. They don't matter as lines. They don't matter as kills. They're just corpses.
She just stops halfway on the cliff and it's just silent for a long time. Just the shot of this like fucked up body on the cliff. Just like, okay.
And it's like, you look at it, he's like, should I like go down there and push it the rest of the way? No.
Nah,
I'm good. Take that effort. It's not worth it.
All right.
So then
on to the next one.
He walks again. More walking. After this, he goes back to the cabin.
The cabin.
It's the cabin. Yeah. Okay.
And
because he thinks that one dude still has a necklace in his pocket.
That's right. And is that when he runs into Troy? I just remember that.
Well, they're all there
in the car,
and they're being like, "He's not stoner dude's not back yet. We gotta go find him."
Right.
And not even realizing that, like, well, so are the other two. Your people aren't coming back. We're gonna go. Screw that guy. I don't give a shit. Well, then we're gonna go. Me and like the guy I'm secretly in love with, who's secretly in love with me. All right, have a good time fucking my girlfriend or something.
And then the guys bicker, and then like, I don't know why he's like, I'm gonna throw your car keys because I'm a character in a slasher movie making horrible decisions.
No, I think that's like abusive boyfriend behavior.
Yeah,
that was super abusive.
That was the two.
Yeah, but he's just that's him. He's abusive. No, I think it was just a friend group.
Okay.
Well, no, because then his dad would have died too, and it would have been like a whole thing.
You're right.
So like, I think it was just like. That literally is like stereotype abusive boyfriend of like, what are you gonna do? I threw your keys. And I know that's happened in other movies too, but like that's what that guy was giving. We needed to hate him just as much as we hated like number one motherfucker.
Yeah.
I loved that moment though, where Johnny, like he takes off his mask and you see him from, I mean, technically that would be their point of view, right? If you're seeing him face on, kind of.
I think that wasn't their point of view because they weren't there. It was like
but I mean from the camera
audience.
Yeah, it was the audience point of view, and you see him without. That's why I thought he was so cute.
He's playing with his little car.
He's like his eyebrows go up and his eyes are all like the fight. They're just white, and he's playing with the car, and he's so happy.
I mean, that's when I was like, oh, right. Because at first I was like, well, is it Johnny or is it Johnny's dad?
Yeah.
That is Johnny. And then I was like, oh, I guess by playing with the car, it's Johnny. But because he's been in the ground as a corpse, he became an adult. Like that weird Friday the 13th thing. Or like, why did he go from dead kid in a lake to like dead giant?
You know, you just have to fill in the
Satan.
blanks. Satan. But I thought that was a cute moment because he just remembered it, and then I side with Johnny. He just wants his necklace. He just wanted his mom's necklace.
Just like, don't steal a dude's shit.
Yeah.
Give him back his
Don't
damn.
steal
And that's what I love when he he puts the mask back on, and then he's like angry Johnny, and then like all of a sudden he speeds his walk. He like busts the car and puts on the horn, and I loved that because I'm like, oh, he's not fucking around now. He's not messing around. And
it was really deliberate though with him.
Yeah.
Like he did that. He started walking around
Right.
the back of the house to make sure. And I love the one guy in the window just being like, "What in the ever loving?"
He noticed him. He's like,
What is that?
Yup.
And then the other guy, "I'ma get you because I'm a big, strong bro man." And then him just being like,
Nope, no, you're not in the leg or whatever it was.
well, he
So
tried to get him in the head and he fought him back. And there was and they shot him. He goes down for like the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, holy shit. And they never do the double tap. Horror movie number 1. Gotta do a double tap.
Yep.
And then they go and the two guys, I don't know what, like, is he like the meek? Like the shitty guy always has his own shitty sidekick. Is that what that guy was supposed to be?
They don't
It's-
have personality.
Yeah, there's no
yeah.
like. But actually, that's the rock kill, right?
Yep. Well, no, first they start going off and he starts taking him because of the head. And then Johnny gets up and picks up his hatchet and it's just like,
Yep. And it
And
hits Aaron. It was Aaron, right? Yeah.
yeah, but
Names
he hits
are-
him.
Names aren't important.
Another off-screen kill because that guy was super that guy was
Yeah.
even a lesser nothing
I
than the
couldn't
other
even tell you what he
nothings.
looks like now.
He had dark hair.
He's a guy.
Blue shirt.
He's a man. He's
Blue shirt guy. Oh, who like ripped his shirt to tie the thing
But,
instead of
like-
just taking his shirt off to tie it, but he made like a whole thing.
It was like this small. It was like a sliver.
And it's funny because he tried to do it twice.
Yeah.
But like, and
But
at
yeah.
least he knew to tie the leg.
Yeah.
And then he gets in the back of the head, and then as they're walking, and the shitty friend, like the douche bro, doesn't even like notice that his friend's dead.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Why aren't you helping me
He's trying
anymore?"
to crawl
right.
away. He's like, help.
But I did like the pan over of when you get
Yep.
like above Johnny looking down, and it's the guys like got the hatchet in the head. So I was like, "Cool, another kill."
Right.
But yeah, and then of course,
You clearly see that big ass rock right there. And you know what's going to happen next. And you think, oh, maybe he's going to hit him a couple times. Nope. Just.
I think that for my theater, that was the last time the audience had a reaction to a kill.
Oh, really?
I really liked that kill.
That was the last time.
Interesting. Yeah. That was a cool one. That was like, okay.
Yeah,
Watermelon.
it was visceral. It was very visceral.
Yeah, it
I
was-
thought it was good.
The final girl comes back with the dude who they're secretly in love with, and they see everything, and it's Johnny comes out and throws the axe, and she dodges just in the nick of time.
Well, I like that she's just
Yeah.
laying there.
Yeah, what was she doing?
Apparently, she was staring at blood because I was like, "What are you? What are you?
I didn't know
What
she
is
was doing.
happening?"
She was just like this. Just yeah,
But
I
then
didn't
she's
know
like,
what she
"I
was
think
doing.
it's blood," and I was like, "Oh, she's like freaking out instead of going to be like, oh my god, are my friends okay?" and going back into the house or
Yeah.
like what you would think a normal person would do with see blood. She decides to have like an existential crisis over the
Right.
blood.
Yeah.
And then just so that
Yeah.
so the necklace could be dangling.
Yes.
So
and
they drive away, and then Johnny walks a lot because it changes from day to night. And he's back. at
our sunset?
the sunset,
Yeah.
the beautiful serene
That was
sunset.
that was
Yeah.
With the orchard
With the-
Yeah.
oh,
or the
that's so
flowers
beautiful.
or something.
that was a really pretty
walked-
moment.
He walked through some very beautiful.
He had a good day. It's a good day for Johnny.
If Johnny only got to live for one day,
I
Johnny
know.
picked a great day.
If we all could just walk through scenery like that, I think we'd all be very peaceful.
With a head in our hands.
With a head in our hands, a body to the hooks, just ready to go.
Which like kind of remind me of like a Texas Chainsaw when he's just like spinning in a field kind of a thing of like, yay, live your life. Or like my favorite zombie in The Walking Dead is just the zombie he's just walking through a field in season 2 and Shane's looking at him like, yeah, that's the life. But he's my favorite zombie the whole thing. He's just a zombie walking through a field, living his best. And I'm like,
living your life. Living your life. Yeah, he ends up back at the ranger station. They're there talking to the ranger, and clearly the ranger knows him because he turns around and he has the whole Sally Hardesty moment where he's like, "Remember me?" That whole,
No, I like when he yells at the kids like, why'd you grave rob? You freaking idiots.
oh, I would have been so pissed. I'd be like, there's no way to stop him. Like the necklace.
That's the only thing keeping him in the ground is this necklace that you idiots stole. You deserve to be killed. We're all gonna be killed.
And didn't they say like, oh, if we give it back? And he's like, that won't stop him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he shows up at the station and then she says, oh, he's here. Like just very obvious dialogue. And yeah, just the point. He shoots him, he goes down, and he says, bullets only slow him down. And of course, naturally, what's the next step? Stand right at the edge of the body, as you do, within grabbing distance. Because, if you want to make sure someone's dead.
Well, that guy sucks so bad. He's like, put some chains on him. Help me.
Oh, I know. And I love it. Yeah, he's slowly like walking closer and closer as he's saying, like, we need to bind him. We need to, and like his feet are right there next to his hands. And of course, when he goes to shoot him, Johnny takes the gun and,
Oh, that guy sucks so bad. It's like when my husband sees a spider, he's like, no, you get it. That was that guy. Like,
yeah, that was that guy.
I can't. It's so gross.
I can't put the chains on him.
Like,
okay, I'm going to hand you the gun. Yeah, because the guy that can't put chains on is definitely the one to hand the gun to.
Right?
Noah.
All the choices.
Yeah. But also, or just ask, did you ask the girl to put the chains on? Why couldn't she have put the chains on?
Yeah.
That was your next option is hand away the gun? Like, nah, bro. That was next.
That death was a very mean-spirited death.
That's the one that really stood out to me. The only talking point I really had about it, but it reminded me of Wolf Creek, the head on the stick thing. The way that he severed the spine. Because what did he do? He just like grabbed the spine.
Yeah,
and he was completely paralyzed. That death stuck with me a lot. I know. Because I was talking to other people and I was listening and they're like, it was boring. They could have done so much more. But to me, the elongation of that death was like, ooh, you feel that dread because you know what's coming.
Well, and it's a fucking one shot. Like it's like totally, what's the word I'm looking for? Still, like on sticks.
Yeah.
The camera does not move.
Right.
It's very visceral.
I thinking about it now still messes me up because he's paralyzed. He's alive. You see Johnny walk away and you think that's it. Like he just kind of left him to be paralyzed. All of a sudden you hear this loud noise. Johnny comes back, brings him in, and you see this like wood cutting, splitting machine. And this whole time, this poor guy's paralyzed. So he's looking, he can't do anything. He can't scream and he's laying there. And I love how like Johnny like tests it with the log. And it's almost like he's like, will it do the job? Will it do it? And then he sees that it cuts. He's like, okay. Will it do it on skin? So he just takes the arm. Just like,
yeah, it was mean. It was mean.
You just know it's coming, and it got to me. It really got to me.
I hated it.
Wow.
Hated it. So like, okay, so I liked the back breaking. I loved the drag. He had to do a little loop. I thought the weight of the bodies was so well done. It looked, because sometimes when they do fake bodies, they look like you're carrying around a cotton sack. This looked like you're carrying around a corpse. Love that. The log splitting machine happened. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're getting some Terrifier level, to tip slap. Like that's what I thought I was getting. I was like, okay, tip, let's go. I was ready.
You absolutely think that.
And then they put the hand up there and it looked like a dummy.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw like the way that the shirt was doing. Like it kind of gave me haunted house. I got a little sad. I was like, oh, I at that point it was just disappointing. I loved when you put the body on the block, it looked like it was still the guy because it blinked. Like that was great. And then I just thought for all the buildup, I didn't see the payoff. It did not, and it didn't play in the theater. That's why I said
really?
the last kill in my theater that I saw, the last kill that got any noise whatsoever was the boulder, because after that, the theater just was pretty silent.
Interesting.
And I looked.
I kind of felt like it was like if a slasher did a YouTube tutorial of how, like, because you know how sometimes like there's movies and they have like you walk in and there's like this big kill of like we see the gore, the aftermath, but we didn't see how it was done.
Yeah.
And this is like
That's funny.
How to slaughter a human. Yeah.
That's really funny. Yeah, I mean obviously that's what I thought, because when I saw that I thought, oh, he's gonna dissect it. He's gonna split him in two. I kind of liked that it didn't go that way, because I just like thought about the perspective of the dude, because he all of a sudden he puts his head there and you just see his eyes and it's so slow and you know what's coming and it was so cruel and it was like, oh, it wasn't a one shot. He just had to like go like this to get the head out. And you see him close his eyes before he does it. It's like, what can he do? He can't even scream. Like just to like hear that or just to see that and like know you can't react, but you could, I don't know. It just.
No, I love that. And I didn't see the cut.
Right.
Like you couldn't see the cut between it being a prosthetic and a dude. And so I think that part was really well done. I don't know. I wanted a little bit more. If they hadn't done the hand part, it would have got me. It was a fun new kill.
And then they go back to the camp, right? The girl and her boyfriend take off and they head back towards their camp because they're like, it's at the point of a normal slasher where they're like plotting on how they're gonna take out the big bad.
Oh yeah, they have like a gas.
Oh my god, I love when he's just like standing there listening to them.
Yeah.
Like
plot very loudly.
Yeah. But
Too
it's, like,
loudly.
It's I mean, imagine from like the point of view of a killer, like and you just hear
like,
these people like how they're gonna get away from you.
Was that when they were whispering?
Yeah.
But not whispering.
Oh yeah, and then and then
whispering.
Like, and then she says, he sees us. She's like clearly like so loud. He sees us. He's over there. He sees us right here. Okay, I'm gonna go distract him.
Yeah, but okay, the same dude that couldn't put chains on a downed body is now gonna be the bait and be the big old savior. I don't buy it.
Was he the bait? All right.
He's just like,
Okay, yeah, and he's like, I'm right. And he does it with nowhere to go because he's in front of a tree.
What is he gonna do? Like all of a sudden he's like, I'm here, motherfucker. And then he's done.
Worst bait ever. His kill was fun. Like I was like, good.
I got a giant cheer.
Oh yeah. And you weren't expecting him to hit him like. Wow.
Oh
my
God.
Rage room style.
I want to count how many times he hit it.
It's
And
so,
then they did thwack ASMR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's so many. And then she's just standing there, and all of a sudden, then it hits her like,
I should
what?
run.
Fuck this. I'm gonna leave the necklace. I'm gonna peace.
Her staring at him at first, I was like, oh, she's into it. I was like, oh, she's kind of like, oh my God, I feel that rage and that like I understand.
I
that.
should have done it to this guy years ago.
Yeah,
Oh
I feel
my
this. I feel this in my soul. I know your pain. I can fix you.
I can fix.
That's where I thought that was gonna go
Her,
next
Johnny, have
until
a
she
cute-
was like, okay, never mind.
I thought she was gonna pull a whole Jason moment in the remake with the necklace.
Like Homer Simpson when he's like backs into the bush. She's just like, I'm out.
How did she know to take the necklace off though? How did she even know that that's what started
I
this?
think the Rangers said
Yeah, the
that.
Rangers like, where did you
right.
get that?
Oh, okay, so she's just like, I'm good.
No, and I love that. Like, she didn't try to like test it and be like, I'm brave, take it from me.
She's like, this has been fun.
Peace. I'm out. And then she loses her way and then goes crazy because she just hears the chopping in her brain.
And she just keeps going in circles and coming back, and he's still whacking this guy's head.
He's just,
Like his head is just like fucking pudding at this point.
I thought maybe that she was just like so crazed that she couldn't get it out of her head no matter how far she was going.
It's subjective, I think. Yeah.
It was, but
like she just keeps hearing it in her brain.
I really like that flip. Like you said, the flip of we're focusing on Johnny to we're focusing on her.
Yeah, and then at the end, because at the movies, she always says she finds the car and they either drive away or they try to and the killer gets it before, and it's that open to interpretation ending.
It really built a lot of tension in this part of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're on edge because you don't know where he is.
And you're like, go, bitch, go, go, go.
Yeah.
So much.
And for me, it was until she had a big old stick in her foot.
It was a big stick.
It was a big stick.
Okay, so it's like a silver, like bigger than it was like a commemorative coin.
It was a girthy stick.
That word. It was way too big for her to just be like, limp. Like that thing was in there. I was like, what did you do? I am a clumsy person, as we all will see. And I'm sitting there, she had just as bad as limp as I do right now with my broken foot in a boot as she did with a big old, and also why was she walking down the road with no blood loss? She should have just been drained.
That would have been freaking painful.
You are just going to be hemorrhaging blood from your, like, it's lower than your heart. Like literally, you are just going to be hemorrhaging blood.
When the plot called for it, she started to in the
She
car.
did in the car. She had a little bit of blood loss, but I was like, nah, girl, you are wrecked. Like I think it could have gone with a smaller cut. They did want the effect, and it was gross. It was a good gross, like, stick in there, pulling that out. That was gross. But I was like, no, she's finished.
Yeah,
she's done.
Yeah, and like it went on for a long time. It felt like a 20-minute ending.
Yeah. But you're on edge kind of the whole time too.
You're looking for him.
And then like when she gets to this car and she's with this woman and like it's like this like long talk in the car, I'm like, okay, is this woman in on it? Is she gonna like turn her back into Johnny?
Right.
And like where is this headed?
Is this would you choose the undead man or the bear?
Is she like a Pamela Voorhees kind of thing? But then you think, no, that would be way too much for this kind of movie. So
she was too young to be.
Yeah.
But
that
kind of thing.
It was it was like this whole story about, this animal, and I think it goes back to like it's the bear's violent nature, it's Johnny's violent nature, and
she's the sage old woman.
And it's just, but it's like a very tense scene because you're just like, where the fuck is this going? Like,
where's Johnny?
Yeah, exactly.
Any minute, because that's how it goes.
Yeah, like when they pull the car over finally,
she's like, I gotta stop the blood. Stop the blood.
And you're just like, oh no, what's happening? Is this when she turns, know?
And you're looking for him, and you're
and she's just staring off into the serene, quiet wilderness.
Me personally, I love that ending. Yeah. Then you just see the can and the necklace is gone, and literally that's all he wanted. That's literally all he wanted, and he got it.
Freaking necklace back.
He didn't come back for her, or maybe he did. Who knows?
No, she hurt her damn self in the woods, and Johnny got what he wanted. And it's not often with a new horror movie that I say I love the ending, but I actually really like the ending.
That was fun.
Like with her, like staring out, she's always gonna be wondering. Like she's like,
where is he?
Where is he? And he just wanted his damn necklace, okay? He wanted his mom's necklace.
Don't steal shit from a grave.
No.
Yeah. Is it your old necklace sitting on there? Definitely don't steal gifts that you're going to give to your significant other. Yeah. And most likely lie about where you got it. Be like, I bought this at an antique shop in the village and I got it for you. No, like that guy probably was like, this was my grandmother's necklaess. No, it was dead Johnny's mom's necklace. Dead Johnny's dead mom's necklace.
Dead Johnny Dead's mom's necklace. That's your new tongue twister right there.
Dead Johnny's dead mom.
But yeah, all in all, I enjoyed it for what it was. I thought it was fun. And now that we've talked about it, and it makes me feel better to know that I think the humor was intentional and it wasn't just me in my head. I think I like it a little more because of that. So I like the take. I really do. It's not for everybody, that's for sure.
No, it's definitely a subjective movie. It's definitely going to be polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's one of those movies, maybe it's going to find its audience when you can watch it at home when you're doing other stuff at the same time.
Right.
It's a movie, it's an atmosphere movie.
Yeah. But like, can I have the 8-hour YouTube cut of Johnny Walks?
Mm-hmm. Johnny Walks.
I would love that. The footage they shot was like nature documentary level. It was really beautiful.
I loved it.
Yeah. The cinematography on this is wonderful. It was very serene. I would have hated if there was music. I love the choice of the crunching of the leaves and the sticks and the birds and everything. Because it even felt like the animals were like, no, Johnny's just doing his thing.
Yep.
This is just Johnny living his life. We're not gonna get silent and weird.
Just Johnny to Johnny.
Yeah. Johnny's part of us now.
How tempted are you to say Johnny didn't know? Johnny doesn't know.
Johnny doesn't know. Oh no, it'd be like, Johnny doesn't know that Aaron and me stole his dead mom's necklace.
Oh my God, Johnny.
I gave it to my girl, but she doesn't know that I got it from a grave. Yeah, Johnny doesn't know.
Johnny doesn't know. For copyright reasons, we cannot play the song, but we can sing it for you.
No, it's under parody. It covers.
I think that it should be recorded and played on all of his walk montages.
Hey, Eurotrip is actually coming to streaming for June 2024. Really? Yeah. So if
why do you know this?
Why don't you know this? It is the number one non-real band song in a movie. If you ask people, that is up there. There's a couple good ones, but for me, if you ask like what's the number one song from a band that's like not a real band, it's from a movie. For me, it's Johnny Doesn't Know.
That's so good. I love that.
There's a couple good ones like the not Pussycat called? Sorry.
That's a
Josie and the
rabbit hole,
Pussycats.
right?
Josie and the
Yeah.
Pussycats had some good ones.
There's
and
so many good ones. I like from Freaky Friday. Lindsay Lohan's band.
I gotta go. I mean, you guys are gonna roll your eyes at this, but I gotta go Green Room with the Ain't Rights.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a
Yep.
good one too. And people say like Low Shoulder, and I was like, I actually did not like
Listen
I
to
love that
trees.
song. I fucking play it all the time in my car.
What about Inside of You? Inside of You.
Oh.
There's some bangers though. We'll make a playlist of like non-movie.
We'll put it on the
bands.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Put it on the Discord,
We'll sing
Yeah.
it for you.
Oh,
including
God.
Johnny doesn't know.
Yeah.
The K version.
Yeah, okay. I'll write a better one that I'm gonna not.
The K version. Oh man.
It's gonna involve more murder.
In a violent nature. There's get it? In a violent nature.
Ooh.
Wait, is that
Oh.
intentional? Why do I always get things?
I
too
did,
late?
yeah. After I was like, oh right, because like violence is in his nature. He wasn't though. He was just a kid.
No.
He was just a
Johnny
kid.
didn't know.
It's just it's just the nature. Nature is just violent.
Is there anyone else out there who thought Johnny was cute? Did you think he was cute, adorable? Did you side with him? Am I the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only weirdo on the planet. Please.
Well, that's our episode on In Violent Nature.
Okay, it's I'm really excited to see what the next movie that Shudder is going to bring. That Shudder IFC that these independent films, like what big premiere are we going to get? Like one of the reasons I love Shudder is because it's movies you couldn't see in theaters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're getting these for people who
Yeah.
don't have that service, that
Yeah.
they can go see a really good independent movie. And
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that this brings way more independent movies to the market, and gives people like a real chance.
If you like what you hear, you can like, subscribe, click on the bell on YouTube.
And for bonus content, check out our Patreon.
Yay! We have a Patreon. It's gonna be good stuff. Until next time, sweet screams, everybody.
And whatever you do,
Don't fall asleep first.